Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at the Kuat Sherpa 2.0 two-bike platform rack right here on our 2021 Subaru Forester. So the Kuat Sherpa is, well, just a really nice bike rack. It checks off all the boxes when you want those premium features like tilt away, you have the fold up ability, you can lock it, but you also have things like different color options. What we have here is the gray, but you can also get this in black or pearl, and you just have these smooth movements of a Kuat bike rack. So we're gonna take a look in this video at the different features of the Kuat Sherpa, but in relation to the Subaru Forester, just to make sure it's the right fit for you, your bikes, and your vehicle. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna tilt this bike rack away. To do so, you have this lever right over here. Just going to pull that lever, tilt this down, and that will allow you to access your hatch even with your bikes on. So as you can see here on our Forester, we have plenty of clearance between our pedals, our handlebars, and our door, allowing us to reach into our trunk, grab whatever we need. So if we need to grab our helmets, our bags, our waters, we can do so really quickly without having to take our bikes off. And once that door is closed, you just lift up on the bike rack, it snaps into place. Notice how that movement was really smooth. That's pretty much everything about the Kuat Sherpa. Everything just glides. And just like that, you're ready to hit the road again. So let's take a look also at the way our bike is mounted here to see if it's the right fit for your bikes. We have two mounting points. So we have a rear wheel strap that's holding down our rear wheel, but my favorite part is going to be here in the front. We have our front wheel mount. So if you have different shaped bikes, like I have my women's bike here, or if you had like a carbon fiber frame bike or a children's bike or a step-through bike, that frame mount makes it so much easier compared to a traditional hook that secures your bike by the frame. It's also a lot faster that way. Now, if you had a carbon fiber frame bike, that hook could possibly warp or damage your frame. This is carbon frame bike compatible. Now, we're gonna take our bike off. So I would start at the rear wheel strap. You just press the lever on that strap. That releases it, lift it up. And what I like to do is I like to just tuck it over here beside our wheels so it doesn't get tangled up in our spokes. Then you go over to the front and make sure to support your frame as you press this button, lift up on that hook, push that hook out of the way, and just like that, you're ready to lift your bike up and over, and you're ready to go on a bike ride. So with the bike off, we get to take a closer look at the bike rack itself. First, I want to take a look at the rear wheel cradle. So this tilts back and forth to accommodate different wheelbases. The maximum the wheelbases can accommodate is up to 47-inch long bikes. You have an extra thick strap here. This goes into that strap container and ratchets down to secure your rear wheel. Here we have our front wheel cradle. So notice how this also has grooves on the inside. Whether you have your thinner tires or your wider tires, the maximum tire this can carry is up to 3 inches. So if you have extreme fat bike tires, that might be something that you might have to consider. So that front wheel cradle folded down to be all nice, compact, and neat. And then our front wheel mount folds down the same way. So there we have our compact bike rack. So definitely smaller when it comes to comparison with the Kuat NV, which is a lot wider. It's really nice because then it matches the sporty look of our Subaru Forester Sport. Now, whenever you have anything on the back of your vehicle, there's gonna be some length added to the back of it. So we'll take some measurements to see exactly how much does the Kuat Sherpa add to our Forester. So from the bumper to the furthest point, which is going to be right over here, it sits at 33 inches. So pretty normal for a two-bike platform rack. Still definitely something worth considering. Whenever you're backing into your garage or trying to park into a tight spot, don't forget that you have a bike rack as well as bikes behind you. Also, even though this is a compact bike rack compared to other bike racks which can be added onto to create a 4-bike rack, here you are limited to just 2 bikes. Our ground clearance is going to be measured from the end of the bike rack to the ground, and that sits at about 19.5 inches. And then over here from the shank to the ground, to compare, that's only 11.5 inches. So the Subaru Forester Doesn't have that much ground clearance compared to your taller SUVs. Still pretty good compared to sedans. That's why it's important to have that shank rise on your hitch accessories. Like what we have here, compared to where the shank is, your bikes are going to be sitting higher up off the ground. So whenever you go up steep inclines like your driveways or your hills, your front's going to go up, your back's going to go down, and that's where you'll appreciate that shank rise. And what if you're not planning on going for a bike ride just yet, but you also don't want to take your bike rack off? What you can do is you can fold this bike rack up. So we have this lever right over here. Pull that lever again, and then this allows you to fold it up into the portable or compact position. So let's take some measurements. Measuring from the bumper to the closest point, you're going to have a distance of 3.5 inches of clearance there, so plenty of clearance. This is also super sturdy, so it's not getting any closer than that. The distance now added to the back of our vehicle is from that bumper to the end of the tray. It's 7 inches, but does stick out further over here where that knob is, and that's going to be 13 inches added to the back of our vehicle. So big difference compared to when this was folded down. You'll definitely want it in this position when you're planning on driving around town. Also, since this is the Kuat Sherpa, it is nice and sleek behind your vehicle, so it doesn't look like your road narwhal. But what's it like living with a bike rack behind you? Well, with it folded up like this, notice how our rear window is completely visible, so no obstruction of view there. Our taillights are visible as well. Now, our license plate and our backup camera actually sit up above the bike rack, just barely. So it sits right there underneath the etrailer.com, and then our backup camera is over there. So you'll still be able to see the bike rack through your view, but you'll also be able to see the cars behind you, which is great because then you're safe and legal on the road. Now let's talk about how this fits into our hitch. So for the Subaru Forester, you actually have two different options when it comes to the aftermarket hitch that you can install. So some people might have an 1.25" hitch, some may have a 2-inch receiver. So depending on your receiver, make sure you get the Kuat Sherpa to match. What I have here has the 2-inch shank to match our 2-inch hitch receiver, but you can get the exact same bike rack with an 1.25" shank, just in case you have an 1.25" hitch receiver. Now this is a tool-free install, which means you don't have to use ratchets, you don't have to use wrenches, you just pop it into your hitch, you put this hitch pin bolt and this lock right through there. That lock is going to be keyed alike to the cable lock that you get with this bike rack, and then you tighten it down over here. So as you tighten that down, it extends a ball cam right inside your hitch receiver, creating an anti-rattle experience. So let's demonstrate that real quick. I'll put this down here. As I shake the bike rack, just to simulate that road sway and road vibration, notice how I'm just moving the vehicle at this point, showing that it's a secure fit between our bike rack and our hitch receiver, making for a smoother ride for your bikes overall. So remember, this does have a weight capacity of 40 pounds per bike, which is a little bit more than your traditional bike racks, but usually not enough for your extra heavy electric bikes. So if that's something you have a heavy electric bike over 40 pounds, you may want to consider other options. If you like Kuat's sleek design, you might want to consider either the Kuat NV or the Kuat Transfer. Those come in options that have more weight capacity. Another similar bike rack, but a different brand, would be the Rocky Mounts monorail. That can also give you that great weight capacity with the compact design. Speaking of design, I told you that this comes in gray, pearl, and black. Just make sure to get the one that fits your personality the most. It's really nice to have those different options. They're all gonna work the exact same way. They just have different colors. So if you have your nice bikes and you want a seamless, easy to use bike rack to carry them that also looks good behind your vehicle, this might be a good option for you. Here on our test course, we'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Once we get to the alternating speed bumps, we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or a pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Now lastly, we're going over some full speed bumps, and we can see here the up and down action, And this will just be like driving in and out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway. And that was a look right here at our Kuat Sherpa 2.0 2-bike platform rack here on our 2021 Subaru Forester.